40,000 soldiers gone, just like that, in one of the most shocking military setbacks for Russia since the start of the war. An entire force was wiped out in a massive counterattack that's turning heads around the world. You're probably wondering, how did this even happen? How does one of the world's most powerful militaries lose 40,000 troops in a single push? Let's break it down, because this wasn't just another battlefield loss. This was a strategic disaster and a massive win for Ukraine. The numbers alone are staggering. We're talking about tens of thousands of soldiers, entire brigades, caught in a coordinated counteroffensive. And this wasn't some random ambush. It was calculated, it was fast, and it was brutal. The turning point. A series of pinpoint Ukrainian offensives using a mix of Western-supplied precision weapons, well-timed intelligence, and local resistance fighters who knew the terrain better than any satellite ever could. Think HIMARS strikes knocking out supply lines, drones hunting command posts, and infantry units sweeping in right after to clean up what was left. What really caught the Russians off guard was the scale and speed of the assault. They weren't just hit on one front. Ukraine came at them from multiple angles, forcing their lines to collapse faster than anyone expected. And here's the thing, this wasn't just about firepower. This was about strategy, morale, and information warfare. Russian units, already worn out and stretched thin, were hit when they least expected it. Some reports suggest entire battalions surrendered without a fight. Others say desertions skyrocketed once the front lines started crumbling. Now 40,000 might sound like an inflated number, but it's based on combined losses, killed, wounded, captured, or missing, and even the most conservative estimates put the figure in the tens of thousands. That's a level of loss you don't just recover from overnight. To put that in perspective, 40,000 troops is more than the entire U.S. Marine Corps presence in Iraq at its peak. Imagine losing that many trained personnel in just weeks. The logistical nightmare alone is staggering, replacing vehicles, gear, officers, even medics. It's not just about the soldiers, it's the entire system around them that collapses. This counterattack also sent a clear message. Ukraine is not backing down. Far from it. With every new push, they're showing the world, and especially Moscow, that they're capable of retaking territory and holding their own, even against overwhelming odds. And let's not forget the human side of this. Every number represents a life, someone's son, father, brother, and while much of the world watches from a distance, for people on the ground, both in Russia and Ukraine, these losses are deeply personal. It's a tragedy wrapped inside a war that many Russians didn't even choose. What makes this moment so pivotal is the timing. Russia had just launched a renewed offensive, betting heavily on breaking Ukrainian defenses before winter. But instead, they walked into a trap and paid for it with lives, machines, and morale. This counterattack flipped the script. Suddenly, Ukraine was back in control of the narrative. They weren't defending, they were advancing. And that changes everything. In war, momentum is everything, and right now, Ukraine has it. Internationally, this massive loss is already causing ripples. Western nations are doubling down on support, seeing that their weapons are making a real impact. The narrative that Ukraine can't win is falling apart, replaced by growing confidence that this war could be turned around. And back in Russia, the cracks are showing. With losses this big, it's getting harder to hide the truth. Parents demanding answers, soldiers refusing to return to the front, social media, despite censorship, lighting up with first-hand accounts that contradict the official line. The government can spin numbers, but it can't spin funerals. It's also raising big questions inside the Kremlin. Was it bad intelligence, poor leadership, corruption, all of the above? Because losing 40,000 troops doesn't just happen. It's the result of failure at multiple levels. And if these kinds of losses continue, we could see a tipping point. Not just militarily, but politically. Morale matters. Public support matters. And with each wave of casualties, support gets harder to maintain. But make no mistake, this war isn't over. Ukraine's counterattack may have delivered a crushing blow, but Russia still holds territory, still has firepower, and still has plans. This is far from the final chapter. What comes next could be even more intense, more counteroffensives, more Russian retaliation, more pressure on both sides. The world is watching, and everything's still up for grabs. If this moment tells us anything, it's this: don't underestimate Ukraine. Again and again, they've shown resilience, creativity, and strength when it mattered most. And now, after wiping out a massive Russian force, they've shown the world that they're not just fighting back, they're fighting to win. And that's where we'll leave it today. What do you think? Can Ukraine keep up this momentum? Is this a turning point, or just another chapter in a long war? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and share it with someone who's been following the war. Your support helps more than you know. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll catch you in the next one.